Whether you're a hobbyist, a maker, and especially if you're a woodworker, sanding is just one of those things we have to do. But just because it's necessary doesn't mean it has to be evil. I think we can make it good. Anytime my project calls for a little bit of TLC, I reach for one of these foam sanders that have this velcro stuck to the back, but these things suck. Your sawdust, your splinters, and all that stuff is going to get crammed in here. And what that's going to do is stop this sanding paper from sitting flat on this surface, and that is not what you want. All those little bumps and ridges caused by all the crap stuck in this hook and loop are going to cause micro scratches all over your project and is going to lead to all kinds of headaches when it comes to applying finish. So I think we can definitely do better than the foam and the Velcro here on this block right here. So the way I'm going to go about cutting these is I'm going to use the molding toolpath in vcarve. I just have the desktop version, but you can do this in any version of vcarve. And basically it will allow you to cut a 3D model with just using this particular toolpath called the molding toolpath. What it'll do is it'll set up a little clearance pass here. You can see all these steps in here. Looks a little rough, but this is exactly what you want. It's going to get rid of the bulk of the material first. Then you will just switch it to a 1/4 inch ball nose, and that's going to give you that perfectly smooth result that you're looking for. This toolpath here, it'll creep up just to the top of this board, and you can see those shavings are starting to get real thin and real hard to see. Then it'll switch over to the other side. It'll creep up there, and then right where those meet, it'll basically disappear. Then it'll just do the same thing on the top side and the bottom side. And that way you're left with a fully molded sanding block that'll fit real nice in the hand. So the reason why the Velcro, the hook and loop and sanding disc works so well with the random orbital sander and not the foam pad is the fact that while you're using this, you're going to be hooked up to your dust collector. That dust collector is going to pull all of that debris away from your project and not cause any of those problems I was talking to you about. All the sawdust and the splinters are going to get pulled away so they can't get embedded into your project and scratch it, and it can't get stuck in this Velcro. Hook and loop. Sorry guys, I keep calling it Velcro even though it's hook and loop. Velcro is one of those brand names that define a product, and that's just what anybody calls it. I do construction, and no matter what brand it is, if you need an angle grinder, you call it a Metabo. Metabo was the first brand to make them, so now everybody just calls it a Metabo, and everybody knows what you're talking about. I'm sure there are a bunch more out there. If you guys can think of any of them, drop them down in the comments. Let's see how many we can get. Just got to cut my bolt holes and do the final profile cut of these, and we're all set. For the base, I'm just going to use some of this 1/2 inch plywood. Just have to cut the recess for the bolt head and make sure that fits in there well, and you can see that it does. So now I'm just going to go through and cut a couple of through holes so that bolt can stick all the way through. And then a quick and simple profile cut, and the bases are all done. Now that I've got all the basic components cut, over to the laser they go. I'm just going to burn the grit that I plan to use on these, which is going to be 80, 150, and 220. Alright, so now that we've got all of our parts here, all we need to do is just assemble this. So you can take your bolt, stick it in through the pocket right there that will capture the top of that bolt head and stop it from being able to spin just like that. Take your 5-inch disc, set your base right on there, like something like that. Pinch your sandpaper. All you gotta do is hold it. Take your nice little sanding block right there. Set that on there just like that, and then just start your nut. As soon as your nut is started, you can take either a socket or an impact with a socket adapter. tighten it up, and there you have it. One of these are assembled. I mean, what did that take, like 5 seconds? Now that we've got it fully assembled, we would just sand the same way we normally do. And I can show you none of that sawdust is getting stuck in here because there's nothing to hold it in there. This is just wood back there. And now with none of that sawdust in there, this pad's going to sit right flat on this piece of wood just like we want it. And that's not going to cause any of those swirl marks or fine micro scratches that you aren't going to notice until you are ready to apply your stain. So not only do these work better, but they feel better in the hand. A nice, well-crafted hand tool made out of wood is definitely near and dear to my heart. I have a couple more that are my usual go-tos. I've got the Matt Essley marking knife. This just feels incredible in the hand. And I turned myself a set of these screwdrivers. They got some weight to them. They're real soft, real ergonomic. They feel great as well. In this world of throwaway consumerism, we are often left with a choice between plastic or foam. And anytime I can substitute that with wood, I definitely do it. I know when it comes to hand sanding, the set of these blocks are going to be my go-to from now on. And since they're made out of wood, they are definitely going to outlast me. So I hope my kids enjoy sanding as well. Until next time, take it easy.